I smirk because it's me, and I'm practically always mischievously smirking at something mischievous. Uh, but the year live and the exclamation mark dropping right at the strike of 555 is so smirk-worthy. Hi, it's me and you. My name is Elliot. I spell it with two L's and two T's, but that's not the only way to spell it. My middle name is Anthony. And there isn't yet still someone alive that remembers where that name came from. My last name is Betancourt. Betancourt. Which thricely has given me opportunity to examine the strength and the power and the embodiment of things that are names, things that are names that are me and also not me, given me cause to question choices. And most recently, the bête and encore. It makes me smirk like 555. Because 6 and 9 is 15 too. My birthday. Yo. It's like bet. Again. Encore. Here we go. And besides my own humor, which is the second cause for all of my doings. And I bet the cause of my doings couldn't be helped. I'm a sucker for good laughter. And even more yours. No, that's the number one. It's a wonder. It's a wonder to arrive at ourselves. How in moments pass eternities that alter who we believe we are. And so maybe here now in this share, more than any other, no, that's not true. Not a more thing. It's not a quantitative attribution. Rather, a lacking of distinction in any other. I wish to state that I do not ever ask for you to believe me. Because that's foolish and so reserved exclusively for fools. And in the case of us, Doesn't matter what you tell a fool, they're going to do whatever they're going to do, anyways. But don't believe me. And that isn't leading to believe yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Wisdom, but not what I'm saying. Don't believe me. Because that's lazy. And less. It's lazy and less than what is required for love, for achievement, for progress, for completion. Don't believe me. But if you want, believe in me. Believe in me as much as you can imagine. To equal my belief in myself. And there you'll find us enjoying in it. In it is all right. Because the truth is fantastic. And each of us are makers. The least of us being made. And the most like the careful charioteers of our burdens. Until the day that we all make together equally. And so we all feel like a part of the play and enjoy the game. But until that day, the game remains, and the players active can remain in awareness. I want to say awaringly. Yeah, I like it. Few. The participation is eternal. But look around at a world that doesn't know it's creating itself, and one creator becomes responsible for creation, which is why the burden. But can we liberate the burden of the few away from crucifixion? Can we relax Atlas and soften our shoulders? Can we entrust the inevitability of the inclusion of loving everyone and being loved? And so, in time, be patient with the manner with which that blooms. that there's no threshold or line that needs to be dead to rush towards, to usher. Oh, there's like a cool little hand thing I did there. To usher. Because what once was and once will be is ever or not. In which case, fuck it. I'm a big fan of Oblivion. I'm a big fan of not. It's the fear of either or that like entraps us. I'm a big fan of liberation. But I also might be a big fan of enslavement. It only really matters where I plot myself. I am plotted in divinity so as to bring a kind of balance in my humanity. And by humanity, I mean a body of light, regardless of form. I'm subject to the fallibility of my perspective. And so, justice will never be objective, which is why, like love, justice is blind. And as a subject of my own moral questing, my immoral spelunking, hours. In hours, there's an H in one of them and no H on one of them. But if you like switch them, it both kind of work. That's a good truth. Things can be undone, but only in the course of watching time like a story cut up in parts. Because it's all the same story. It doesn't end after the Empire Strikes Back. There's no more pause after A New Hope. And the return of one story in its entirety is a never left. And we're living in a time of, I believe, like realizing and realized fairy tales and make believing. I do not believe in no reason. I do believe in the unreasonable. history repeating itself is like describing the history of a snail's shell, you know, or some other golden mean. Expressing an end to something that is only a part of what's begun. History repeating itself. It's not an ending, but a try and a try. And if at first you don't succeed, then try and try and try until you believe you do. And then the story can never be about its unachievement. It's like try and try and try again until you win. How else do you climb a mountain? It's not even foolish. That's a little foolish to expect to climb it in one step. You didn't climb the mountain in one step. You suck. We'll try again. And then you take another step. You try and try and try and try until you get to the top. You're like, yeah, see, try and try. You succeed. You climb the mountain. It's like, well, fuck. How else was I going to get here? No step is easy. And no step the same. And each step describes the ones before, describes the ones to be, and describes the ones that never came. I adore myth and legend. I bred myself on the fantasies and the science fictions and the mysteries. Even at a time, for a time in my youth, like a kind of on the fears of our authors. Goosebumps doesn't count, but it has to because that's kind of what I'm referencing. Also, like the teeny bop, which wasn't a thing. Was it Fear Street? I think. And then Christopher Pike. R.L. Stein, Christopher Pike. You think, really, that there's nothing in a name? The rose smells sweet, and so we called it Rose. If you try to call Rose another name, it smells differently because the rose finds the moment to meet. And that's timeless. Okay, Elliot, now you're just kind of like spinning things together. And that's my point. But don't hang on to it. It's only one. The heroes arc. The impossibility of happily. Even under examination, the non-fictions of our recorded history. Of trial and error and trial and error, and its hopeless seeming nature. All steps to arrive eventually here. And now we're going to get a little dimensionally crazy. If we could travel to and fro. Oh, no, wait, I cut it. And try to fix time. Try to undo it. How many times would a whole eternity how many times would an eternity breathe after itself? Would it have to? To finally arrive at the eternity that we insist in believing in because it's our dream. How many times did we die? How many times did we never live? Could we accept that going backwards to change things could never work, was never the solution, and then accept that it did, and it has. And that we never went back in time. That we never saw forward. But only persistently, insistingly, never took our eyes off each other. Because you can't look at yourself. And if the straightest, fastest point between two lines is that like through path, that it's always ever been just this path, and that we're arriving at a time right now that we don't remember what's possible after this, because why the fuck not? It never really has been like this before. Doomed is a thinking found upon any notion of doomedness, that what was leads to any inevitability except what we choose and won't die without. I'll tell you straight up. History repeating itself with such succession has not been without cause, and the cause has not been without nobility, but has been like the most majestic example of try and try, and if, then try, until, and try some more, and then stop trying. Which is an always try.
Did you go to bed earlier?
I can always rely on your awkwardness first thing in the morning.
Hmm?
I'm going to answer no. How does that affect you? I know. So just so you know, I'm lying. Yes, I went to bed.
I could sleep now.
I wish that you you deserve it,
No.
but haven't learned to do it yet. Pardon. Somebody's word is an intrusion, but it's really not. It's an infusion. To release burden and accept responsibility. A lightness that is the birthright of responsibility. With the weightedness being just like the prepubescent nature of our souls. And recognizing, embracing this now as I don't know except what I know. And that's the good. And the with great power, that all that great responsibility that we've acknowledged in our earnesty and in our innocence has formed the power that's formed to be bright without shining our fucking light everywhere, and that being noble, just bright enough, just in a phase, just in a color, so that the colorblind to us look, or at us look the same, and for the color-eyed We can recognize each other and then release with awareness what won't happen again, because that's stupid. The cycles of repetition, like within or without themselves, are themselves a thing. And once lived through comes an afterlife. That need not be made, that we need not make room for. The room is there. We just need to step through. I'll tell you unabashedly, I am the most inspired by loving. And that my very best thoughts arrive at the tip of, God, I love you. Don't believe me. But if you believe in me, I'll tell you. That feeling, that all the way core and nothing truth of I love you is its own reward. It moves mountains. Maybe I'll close with this. It's like a secret. That somebody told me. The inference being you. To move a mountain, you take a step, and then another. Because there's no step taken that doesn't come without you uttering, move. And when you say it with every part of you, you leave nothing behind. This takes practice. Can you move with your pinky toe and your eyebrow and every wisp of your hair? Because when every wisp utters move, you move mountains. Here's the secret. The mountain moves beneath you. Buckle up. It's gonna get bumpy. For fun. Non-bumpy rides, you just fall asleep in the back. Ring. I was gonna go, and I was like, that's not. I don't really feel like doing that imagery. And so my hand was already there. It's like, what am I gonna do? I don't know. don't believe me, if you choose, believe in me. And if you choose, know that as much as I believe in you, I just know better. I love you. Until again. And thank you. Yet you. Always. We've all got our parts. And fuck yeah, some better than others. What fun would it be otherwise? I don't know, but I'm a fool for fun. Good morning and good night. It's just like open your eyes or close them. I love you.